folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Terror Inc. Issue 4 by Max. Now, there is violence, killing, blood, ripping bodies apart, nudity, explosions, terrorism, magic, and more violence in this one. So, if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's the team. So, when we left off Mr. Terror in issue 3, and oh boy, what a revelation was it there, he finally located the group that was behind stealing his arm, his magical arm, and tricking him into killing that British agent guy. And he went down to the headquarters to face the head of the terrorist group, and discovered that it was his beloved Talita, the one that died all those centuries ago. Ooh. Now, we start this issue with going back to the 13th century. We see Talita and Mr. Terror. They're kissing. Talita wants to join Mr. Terror to, see how the country's doing. Mr. Terror's apprehensive. He said, some of the noblemen, they're not really for all your changes. And, these changes are new to me. And she tells him, do you also disobey your queen? And he says, no, I just worry for you. And she said, well, lucky I have you then, to protect me. Then we go back to present day, where Mr. Terror awakes in a magical circle. It wasn't a pentagram. No, this magical circle for a ritual. There's doll heads, and he's ripped apart. And it's just his head, his torso, and then his arms, and his hands, and his feet, and legs. They're all cut up. And the mystic is performing the ritual to help Talita get out of the machine that keeps her alive. Because now they have his arm, and I suppose they needed him there too for the ritual. So he begins, does the rituals, something happens. Oh, wait. What was it? Second. Oh, there is a like the star pentagram there. Although, no, that's not how you draw a pentagram. Was it? Okay, yeah. He performs the ritual. The nurse and the doctor from the previous issue are there too. He rips a chicken's head off its body, as you do in rituals. And Mr. Terror grounds loudly, and then Talita, they take her out of the machine that keeps her alive. She's got the arm attached to her, the one that, that was his for so long with the armor. And she's like, finally I'm free. She stands up. She's happy, obviously, to be out of the machine. She feels alive. She talks to Mr. Terror, and then she says, well, that's it, now we'll do this, and then we'll go back to the destruction. She still wants to annihilate the world. So she tells them, bring me the woman. And they bring forth Mrs. Primo. And she says, sorry, darling, I got lost to Mr. Terror. And then Mr. Terror before that, like, no, the Talita. And she says, well, now that her body's, she's talking about Mrs. Primo, her body's ripe, I'll take her for parts. Maybe once I have her parts, you'll love me as well. He says, is this the one you love? And he tells her that he never stopped loving her. And then something goes wrong. Talita goes forward and attacks the men that are holding Mrs. Primo. Mrs. Primo ducks before anything happens to her, and uses the commotion to escape. While they're distracted, she starts attacking the men. She has no control of her arm. Everyone's like freaking out. Well, what's going on? What is happening? She's going and killing her own men. I mean, they were gonna die anyway, but they're still useful. And they're like, ah, shit. And then Talita's obviously angry. Like, what happened? What did you do? And it's Mr. Terror. Mr. Terror still has control over his arm. The Mystic looks at him and it's you. And he says it was my arm a lot longer than it was hers. Which is true, as he had it for 8 centuries. So the arm listens to him and he keeps him he's killing them. And before that, he tells Talita, "I'm sorry, baby." After he says that, because he's about to kill her, he uses the arm. He moves it to start choking her. The men all around and the doctor yells at them, "Quick, grab her! So we gotta stop this." And the man can't do anything. Now the mystic approaches Mr. Terror. He's got a candle holder, and he's like, and he tells her, "I wish you'd just die." And while that is the commotion, the doctor's starting to sew off the arm of Talita's body. And then Mr. Terror gets hit in the head by the candle holder. The mystic hits him. Then we move to Los Angeles. There's been another terrorism attack. This time in a ship. A lot of fucking people died, and they don't understand what's going on. The FBI's investigating. It's like a room full of brokers or real estate brokers or something. And also the crew, and they found some kind of psychedelics in their blood, and but they all killed themselves, and they just don't know what's going on. They're talking, what did they think that they would come back to life or something? Which is, it looks later that has found out that that's what they think. Looks like Talita lied to her believers. No shock there. I mean, then. Oh yeah, and Talita gets out of the machine. She's obviously naked. I forgot to say that. Yeah, she's moving around, killing her men naked. Okay, yeah. There's a report, and then there's the FBI. And they're like, one of the agents said maybe they thought they'd survive. So yes. We go after that. We go to Mrs. Primo. She's creeping around the Death's Reign headquarters there. She gets closer to a room. There's a bunch of there's like three guys, and a bunch of hookers with them. And hookers telling this guy Tito, come on, baby, let's go. You're getting soft on me, if you know what I mean. And he can't get into it, and she complains, and then Harper comes into the room with 2 agents. And before that, Tito's complaining, it's been 3 days, where are my... I don't get if he means his friends or actual brothers, but where are my brothers? I haven't heard from them in 3 days. And then Harper asks, what's wrong? Are you not pleased with this woman? And you're a hero. And the woman's like, ha, hero, he's a coward. He says, Harper tells him to shut up. And then Tito tells him, I haven't heard from my brothers, and, where's my proof that I'll survive? I want to see proof. And he's like, okay, and then he slashes his throat. Harper slashes Tito's throat. So Tito gets dragged away. One of the other men that was with Harper grabs the woman. The other is in the room. They're all drugged up, so they don't really pay that much. One of them. They're not really startled much by this. So then Harper says how there's only a handful of hardcore believers, and they're gonna have to get rid of the rest. So I don't know what that means, because Talita wants total annihilation and emptiness. So did these guys really think the true believers that they'll survive, or are they all for just dying and killing everyone? I don't know. Yeah, so they're talking about that. Then we see Mrs. Primo. She snuck in there. She took off her dress. She was lying on her underwear on one of the beds. So she heard everything. She gets up, picks up her dress, but then, oh no, one of the women vomited all over, and she's like, "Oh, that's Chanel." Oh well, not much to do. Miss Primo keeps sneaking around. Wait. Okay, she keeps anyway, she goes, okay. We go after that to Mr. Terror again. He's in some other room. Well, his head is. He's in like a cage for his head. Talita goes down to him, uh, to tell him. And here we learn that, as I thought in the last issue, that he must have done something right with the ritual because she's been alive. Well, not alive, but between, like, unable to die for these 800 years. So for 8 centuries, she's been going mad in her grave. So again, you just went fucking mad there. So it's understandable why she is like this now. So she wants to experience life, experience everything again, and then kill everyone and herself. I mean, understandable, but also fuck me, crazy bitch. And then she tells him, did you still, you still have a part of me? She means the arm, and she says, yes, the best part of you, the part I loved. Oh yeah, all of her previous goodness has been left in that arm, and now she's a crazy bitch. So she tells him what she wants, and he tells her, "I won't fight you." And she tells the nurse to bring Harper, and the nurse are there with her. The nurse has a uh, what do you call it, a neck brace, because when Talita was Mr. Terror was controlling the arm, he also choked the nurse a little bit. So she says, "Bring the head to my room, and this time make sure the mystic doesn't do anything wrong." So yeah, the mystic fucked something up, perhaps. And again, it's because the arm has been in his control for so long. Anyway, someone comes into the room. Outside there, we see Mrs. Primo. She's hearing them. Miss Primo somehow finds a pair of trousers somewhere, pants, and a black hoodie. So she goes in. Harper, Talita, and the nurse leave. Harper thinks she's one of the men. He says, "Okay, get him down from there." And Miss Primo approaches, starts to. She said, "Why are you doing it like that? And why'd you come alone?" And then she started answering, but of course her voice isn't convincing as a man. And Mr. Terror falls. And then Harper goes forward and grabs her, and then sees that it's her. It's Miss Primo. But then Miss Primo does what she said, jujitsu move, and not pushes him, but like knocks him to the ground. He's like, and he's obviously angry, and he says, "I'm gonna stick this gun so far up your." And then, to his horror, Mr. Terror's head's next to him, and those tentacle things start to come out of him. And he's like, "I don't have the time nor the soap to wash your mouth, so don't even finish that sentence," because he's about to take control of his body. So that's it. He and Miss Primo are getting out of this maze of a building. They're walking. Well, since he has control of Harper, now he knows where everything is and how to get out. And he talks to her about Talita, and she says, "Darling, that's not the same woman. She has changed." And he said, "No, I have to go back to her." And Miss Rebel says, "Sorry, darling." They're in the kitchen. She grabs the knife from the knife stand, and before he can react, she stabs him in the gut while ripping her hoodie. And he's like, "You bitch." And she said, "You don't mean that, darling. That's Harper talking." She runs outside. He runs after her. And they come across all the other gang cult members. And then, well, they see, Mrs. Primo in her bra and those pants. And Mr. Terra comes out as Mr. Harper. And, they're all like, ooh, the baby to Mrs. Primo. And then she tells them all, oh, me and Mr. Harper are just going out to get you more ladies of the night for the celebrations before tomorrow. Right, Mr. Harper. And Mr. Terra's like, yeah, tomorrow's gonna be big, and tonight we celebrate. We'll bring you more hookers. And everyone's cheering, like, yeah. And they get into the car. It's kind of funny because he's got the knife in him. And one of them even says, oh, he's got a knife in him. Think he's gonna live? Well. Okay, then we're outside a hotel. Mrs. Primo and Mr. Terror are inside. Mr. Terror's lying down. Mrs. Primo takes out the knife. Man, that must have been a bloody big knife. Takes her 2 hands to pull it out, and it looks quite long. What kind of meat knife is that? Anyway, he tells her, I'm really sorry, Mrs. Primo, that must have been hard for you to do. I said, oh, don't worry, darling, I don't mind some boys making googly eyes at me. And he means, though, not that, stabbing me with the knife, because if you didn't, I would have just gone back to Talita. I still want to go back now if I could move my body. And he says, I don't know what to do. Like, just give it today, and the arm will be hers, because he's rotting. What kept him up so long, as we know, is the arm, Talita's arm, and the magic that witch done all those 8 centuries ago. So he doesn't know what to do, and then Miss Primo climbs on him and says, "Do you trust me, darling?" And he says, "Yes." And then what'd she do? Oh, yeah, she sticks the knife in his throat, and he's like going or like that, and then she stands next to the bed and calls the police, and that's where the issue ends. Okay, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, she shoves the knife in his throat. Okay. Ah, right. And he also said they all think there's a big secret to separating him from the arm, but if he decays, then well, that's it. Oh, and they'll have an invincible army of bombers. So I don't understand exactly. Does this mean that Talita can just use those powers and make them all like Mr. Terror? Doesn't seem to make sense. Okay, so for issues 4 cover, we have Mr. Terror's head in this jar. Now his head is inside something, but not this. Cute though. Homo sapiens terror is. It's very cool. I like all the covers for this series. I really like the shades of green here. It looks very cool. Yeah, one thing is though, like I'll show you in a moment. They kiss, and I don't understand how he kisses her without lips. As you see, he's got his teeth, but he has no lips. Oh, there's Harrison Ford in Blade Runner. I never finished watching Blade Runner. I should. Oh, there we go. You see they're kissing. I wonder how that would even feel. Like he's all rotten there and shit. And this is before he had the arm, obviously. So I do like Talita's dress though. It's kind of cool looking. Interesting pattern. See there she is when she still had hair. There's Mr. Terror. Okay, and now one more page. And then you see there he is in the I'd say it's kind of a pentagram, but yeah, there you go. You see they chopped him up real good so he wouldn't be able to do anything, and then there's all of this shite all around, these dolls, candles, all your usual stuff. Okay, I'll show you maybe one more page. Be warned. Well, you don't see the pulling, but you see them. You see him grabbing the chicken. Is that a chicken? I think it's. Oh, it's a bird. You see they're preparing. There's. I'm not sure though what the. I'm not certain what the doctor is cutting though over there. Like you see. Maybe cuts more out of Mr. Terror actually. Let's see. No, no. Yeah, that one I'm still not sure exactly what he cut off. Maybe there was. I don't know actually. It's not the chicken, or the bird. Yeah, you see, he's cutting something. Oh, interesting. Maybe when this happened, I thought that maybe he was cutting Talita's head out of there or something like that. But now I'm not certain. Oh, anyway, you see there's the gruesomeness. I might have to age restrict these. Well, there we go. That's the art. As it was in the last issues, fantastic. Okay, what a ride this story has been so far. And you see, they managed to condense it into 5 issues. If only modern comics could do that too. Yeah, I mean, holy shit. So yeah, now it's more understandable, Talita's motivations. Well, then kind of, she went cuckoo in there. But it's interesting how he managed to do the ritual right for her. Because she has these 3 stones around her neck, but not for her husband. Which, this is actually what he wanted. He wanted to be buried like this and then alive so he can, so he can come back to life later. Which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, interesting if that would have actually been something that they could do. That would have been maybe the other story. Mr. Terrorizes him up after so many centuries. Yeah, here, the plan, Talita's plan is in motion already. There's a lot of people already dead, murdered by her terrorists. But she can't get, like, the final part, the arm, back to herself. Because she needs it to, I guess, give herself a new body. Because her body is very weak after lying for 8 centuries underground. And I wonder after. Okay, so also something I forgot to mention. Mr. Harper has built all this up. So he started this thing. I wonder though how he found out about Talita. And if he did, then is he the one who wanted to start this cult, or did he just find her by accident and then decide what? He's up for this plan? Or perhaps she truly promised him that he would live after all this. But she wants complete emptiness, annihilation, so you. Like, what will be remain? She wants to kill everyone. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, but thank fuck Mr. Terror has Mrs. Primo. I don't know what he would have done without her. Again, a very resourceful lady. Yeah, without her. So I wonder what Mrs. Primo's plan though is. Right, so she kind of, well, not really, kind of killed him. Now she's calling the police. I guess maybe her plan is to get the FBI. Because, like, she tells him before they leave that he's gonna need help. He's not gonna be able to face this off on his own, and she is absolutely right. Terrorists aside, they need a way to. And does this mean that? This does mean that Terror's going to have to kill Talita. She's no longer the same Talita he knew back then. And if he doesn't kill her, well, the whole world is doomed. So I suppose he's gonna go on a mission to kill her then. Which I look forward to see what's gonna happen with that. As so far this has been fucking awesome, and a lot of violence too, which I like. Yeah, this is really fucking cool. And I look forward to see how this is gonna wrap up. I mean, what's gonna be with Mr. Terror in the end of? Is he just gonna keep going like this? You think about it, he could be a useful FBI agent or something after all, because he wants to, and not wants to, but you could send him, you just gotta give him body parts. And he can go do all these missions that could be, like off the book or something. Oh, and also, Mr. Harper wasn't a fan of America, it seems. He wanted to, well, he wants to, like he says, end this goddamn country. He says that. So, yes. Well, he won't get to see that anymore. He's gone. Now they just gotta get to Talita and, well, stop all this madness. If they can. Oh, do I look forward to the final issue. So, yes, this was a good one, too. And more violence, more information. And I shall see how it concludes in issue 5. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know if you've read issue 4 of Terror Inc., the second series, and what did you think about it? What do you think of the story so far? And remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!